Welcome, everyone! I'm so excited to get you started on your journey to find your gifts and talents, and giving you the tools you need to succeed and be who you're destined to be. Welcome, friend! We are excited to help you discover your new look. My name is Shanidra Matthews, and I started Amara 2 Classy Boutique to help women find classy and chic items for all sizes. It's not like the store experience. If we don't have your size, you can go on our website and purchase your size in your favorite outfit. Welcome, everyone! I'm so excited to get you started on your journey to find your gifts and talents, and giving you the tools you need to succeed and be who you're destined to be.
Become their own boss. It's pretty fun as you get used to it because we get to do like a lot of fun stuff. Like you get to learn about different things like in business.
Exposing kids to new possibilities for their future.
I'm kind of thinking that I kind of want to do like some type of editing stuff or either like making clothing.
Shanidra Matthews founded Beyond the Cover Academy to help kids develop new skills that will benefit them in the future. Behind every door, a new experience. Photography, art, music, cosmetology.
Hello, everyone. This is your girl Shanidra with Let's Dig Deep. Yes, indeedy, if you can hear me clearly. Now, I know that you can see what the title is to be. I know you clearly see what the title is to be. Now, the title of today is Stop trying to force it. If you gotta force it, it's no point. If I'm trying to plug up my phone with the wrong plug, it's not gonna work. I'm just gonna be left in the dirt and hurt because my phone won't be charged. Because me trying to force something that's wasting my time, trying to force this pen to go in, it's not gonna go in. It's not. So God says, stop forcing it. If you're trying to force things to happen, that would naturally happen if you're doing what He has you to do. Everything that I do naturally happens. Naturally. I don't force anything or nothing. It's not even up for discussion. So, now, I have to break everything down because I want you to be found wearing your crown. You're not going to continue to be foolish and do foolish stuff and act like we don't know. So that's why I always give you guys the definitions, because we're not going to act delusional anymore. We're going to explore more. So the first word in stop trying to force stuff is stop. So stop means come to an end. It means stop. When you're driving, red means stop. That means you need to come to an end. Stop it. Stop. That's what stop means. That means don't continue, to terminate, to finish, stop. So stop forcing it. Trying to force it. Force. The definition of force is the accomplishing of any purpose violently. So if I'm trying to plug up my phone with the wrong thing, it don't fit. So you need to quit. If it don't fit, quit. That's what should have been the title. If it don't fit, quit. Dang, we won't even have to complain about a thing. If it don't fit, quit. Stop trying to force it. If it don't fit, just quit. That means it's not legit. it means it's not for you. That means God did not create that for you to do. It doesn't fit you. You gotta force it. It's not for you. You don't have to force anything that is actually for you. You don't have to force it. So that's the two definitions. Stop forcing it. Stop and force. We're not going to force nothing. If it don't fit, it don't fit. And I'm not talking about outfits. I'm talking about everything. Now, stop forcing things to have. Stop trying to force things to happen in your life. Stop forcing that relationship. Stop forcing that job. Stop, or even that money, honey. I know your money looking funny, honey, but don't try to force the money, honey. Instead, let things flow. Go with the flow. You're going, like I keep telling you, you're gonna have to decide on today whom you're gonna serve and pray and obey to. You're either gonna serve and pray and obey the Almighty and do it His way, or it's your way. That's what you chose on today. You chose to do what you wanted to do. You acted like you didn't have a clue. That's what you chose to do. So God said, stop trying to force stuff. If you got to force it, that's not what I have for you, honey. Don't be confused. You don't have to force a job. You don't have to force a relationship. You don't have to force none of this stuff. Of it, not even some of it. But before I get into all of that, because I don't want y'all to only hear Shanidra and her words, I want you guys to watch the video so you can know and, stop wasting this time trying to force stuff. So here's a video.
One commodity that is most valuable on this earth is time. Time to love, time to live. From the moment the human body is born, it begins dying. I don't think you quite caught that. Let me say it again. From the moment the human body is born, it begins dying. Some happen faster, some happen slower. Some of us help them go faster, and some of them prevent it from happening sooner than later. How many seconds, how many minutes do we waste every day doing things that are nowhere near the goals and aspirations and passions that we have inside? How many times do you go through the course of a day and realize, did I do anything I set out to do today? Write down those goals each and every day. No matter if it's 2 goals a day, if you can accomplish those, then you're doing more than just making it through the day. You are living and achieving your dreams. Find time to better yourself, read, explore, research, live life, do things you've never thought of doing before. That's what it's all about. When you're born, that's that date that they put on the left side of the tombstone. When you die, they put another date on the right side of the tombstone. But that dash in the middle is the most important thing on that tombstone. That is a line that throughout that entire time frame, you were able to impact and touch others' lives. You were able to leave your mark on this earth. You were able to build a legacy that nobody could change. You were able to have it to where people remembered who you are no matter what. When you're living for that dash in the middle, you're going to remember your why. Your why you're here. Not the why did you do something? Your why, your reason for getting up in the morning, your reason for pushing yourself past the brink of exertion and giving up. Your reason for moving on and getting things done in life. That dash in the middle, that's the thing that pushes you.
How do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of your physical appearance, in terms of your health? Do you take care of yourself? Are you allowing yourself to get overweight and out of shape? Are you conscious of your health? Are you watching the food that you take into your body? Do you make a deliberate effort to exercise? You know, it was George Burns, he said, we cannot help getting older, but we don't have to get old. And many of us get old before our time because we don't take time to take care of ourselves. Your environment is a very good indicator. On a scale of 1 to 10, is it what you want it to be? Do you find it desirable? Are you satisfied? The job or career that you're involved in. Someone said that 85% of the American public are unhappy with their jobs. Are you spending 8 hours a day just doing time? Doing something that you don't find challenging, that does not make you stretch mentally, that does not stimulate you, that does not inspire you. Something that you don't find a sense of fulfillment in it. If you're doing that day in and day out, it has to affect how you feel about yourself, your level of motivation. Your relationships. What kind of impact is it having on your life? Is it nourishing or is it a toxic relationship? Does it drain you or does it build you up? Ask yourself that. How motivated are you to do something about it? Your contribution, your actions. What are you giving? Many people will leave the universe without a trace. No one will know they were here. And in fact, under their name, we could put under there, not used up. Will anybody know that you came this way? What contribution are you giving? What will you leave? What will be different because you came this way?
Just stop for a second. Write down your why. What are you doing this for in life? If your why doesn't make you cry, then that's not your why. Again, if your why doesn't make you cry, then that's not your why. Your why should be something so big that it moves your family tree. Your why should be something so big that it changes the whole outlook on how things are with you and your home, your family, your religion, your purpose. Think about your passion. Think about your opportunities. And that's how you find your purpose. OPP. When that why meets up with your passion, your opportunity, your purpose, then you'll find out. The most important day in your life is the day you remember why you were born.
The day just do.
You just saw the video. And I just had to let you guys know how it was going to go. Because we cannot continue, I'm saying, we cannot continue to force it. Period. Force anything. Again, if you're forcing a job, or you're forcing yourself to do this and you're forcing yourself and it doesn't bring fulfillment to your life, then you need to consult with Christ, the one who is saving your life. You need to think twice about what you are doing in life. Because you're sacrificing and wasting time on things that is not even for you. I already told you, and I guess God wants me to continue to tell you that I was you too. When I graduated high school, I went to college for business management, and shortly after, once I had my first child, I still wanted to continue to finish college, to be in business. Because every time I went to college, it was for business management. So it was kind of like I knew what God was going to have me to do, but I didn't know the way. But the only way I was going to know or be in the flow is me continuously acknowledging my Father. But again, my friend, I started thinking I was doing everything right. I thought, oh, I'm going to college. Oh, I'm working a job. Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, I'm doing that. I'm taking care of my kids. I'm providing for my kids. I'm this, I'm that. I thought that, me working a job and me, taking care of my child at the time, that I was doing it right. I'm going to college. I'm doing everything right. What's up? But at the end of the day, if I want to be real, the reason why I had to deal and talk and tell God how I feel, was because it was getting real. The more I tried to go back to school, like I start and stop, because it was always something. Before I had kids, I just wasn't into it because it was like they just gave us so much book work. I couldn't even, it just consumed all my time. It was, and I couldn't even retain everything because every class I had like 50 million things to do and I couldn't even retain that too, because I was on the schedule or whatever. So, um, I stopped, for a minute, especially when I got pregnant, when I was 21. So didn't finish school, I finished high school. Let me make that clear because I don't want nobody, you know, lying about, you can ask me about anything about me, I'll tell you. But I did finish high school, graduated from high school, got my diploma, high school diploma. Um, then I went to college, but I did not finish college because of me trying to force it. It wasn't something I was never really into school in general. Even when I went to school, I wasn't a school type of person. Um, but then I tried to force myself to go to college after I graduated from high school. And I just wasn't motivated to do it. I just wasn't, I tried to do it. I tried to force myself to do it, but I just couldn't do it. But, after I had my first child, I tried to go back because I was like, no, I got to do this right. I got to make a better living for my child. I don't want him to just, be nothing and all of this stuff. So try to force myself to go back to school with one child at that time. And it didn't work because I was forcing myself to go. To get back on the schedule, just, I'm like, well, until I can work, I'm going to go ahead and force myself to go to school. So again, still didn't pan out. I was working, going to school, and basically just seeing my son when I got done. Forcing myself to go to these other places that wasn't bringing no fulfillment to my life. So anyways, I had to think twice about my life because I was like, God, what is going on? I'm doing everything right. I'm going to school. I'm working. I'm taking care of my child. What is going on here? Why every time I get a job, something happens. Whether my car start acting up or my child needs me or, it was just always something, but I kept trying to force it. Every time I lose a job, I get another job. I kept forcing it and forcing it and forcing it. And God is like, okay, well, let me know. Let me know when you want to let go of that control. Because that's what it is. You're trying to dictate and control your life when we are in Christ and we really don't have any control over our life. I tell you, every time I try to make up my own day or whatever and think of what I'm going to do today, God always changes, my day. We can plan all day. And that's what he say, but we're supposed to plan after we acknowledge him. So every morning, I can schedule a meeting, I can do everything, I do my normal stuff, but every morning, I'm just asking God, what are we doing today? What are we? Me and God, what are we doing today? Because I'm not even going to start this day trying to do it my way. I do want to do it Yahweh, so I don't have to hit the highway. So, first, I thank him for waking me up on this morning, allowing me to be able to see, walk, talk, breathe, move here, and all the things he continuously do. And then I'm like, so what are we going to do today? I'm not forcing nothing. It's not even up for discussion. So that's how we supposed to flow. We're supposed to go with the flow of God, but we're gonna have to lose some of that control. That's what it is. I hear people all the time, no, I gotta know. See, y'all don't never know when y'all gonna get paid, honey. I tried that and I'm not, I have to get money. I have to know how much money I'm gonna make. And okay, well, you depreciating yourself. Because you gotta know. So that's a little bit that you wanna have that you have control over. But you really don't, because if we didn't see since the pandemic, people been getting let off like flies. Like, "Nope, we don't need you. Been here 50,000 years. We don't need you. Don't need you. Don't need you." So then what did you have to do? Been there 50, you've been committed to this job more than you've been committed to God. See, I told you I don't put on this fake facade. I'm not gonna lie and abide by what y'all want me to ride with. I quit that, I stopped that because that's not the way that God had for Shanidra. Now, I understand that everybody is not equipped to be an entrepreneur. I've seen that numerous times. That, people are just not equipped to do this. I mean, I've seen people try to start photography businesses and they are way better and, great at photography. But the business side, they quit real quick because they don't know, they don't go with the flow of God. When I got into photography, I was like, okay, Lord. Then I seen the dead spots in photography. I'm like, okay, so this is kind of like a seasonal thing. People only want pictures, of prom and weddings and birthdays and stuff like that. But this is not like, and professional. There's always time for pictures, but you have dead spots in photography. But thankfully, I went with the flow of God because during that time of the dead spots, I was like, okay, Lord, I'm not working a job. It's just me and you, God. So I'm trying to let you decide on how I'm going to ride and glide. And that's when he showed me, my ministry as a teacher, not a preacher, a teacher. And it was to teach others how to discover whom they were destined to be, literally. And of course, God started with me. I had to take the leap of faith first. So this wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't nothing that I'm just repeating or that I read in a book. This is my actual life. Um, so this faith-based life, I had to stop everything, all of it, not some of it, not part of it, not a little bit of it. Everything that God had me to do, it was literally nothing that I went to school for. He had me to start my ministry back in 2017. It was called See Destined to Be, but it's Beyond the Cover, where you discover now. But See Destined to Be is still part of Beyond the Cover Academy. And but it was first See Destined to Be. And I first came out with my See Destined to Be book back in 2017, which has been on Amazon since 2017. But he gave me that guideline book to guide people on how to find their gifts and talents. So again, it started with me and the questions that came to me when I took the co-starter class at the Urban League. All he asked me was, what do you like to do? I couldn't even answer that because I was so structured in the way that my family did it, the way that, I have to have a job, I have to do this, I have to do this, I didn't even know what I like to do. He asked me a simple question that I couldn't even answer. He was like, what is it that you like to do? I was like, I like taking care of my kids. I love, spending time with my kids. I didn't even know what to say. I did not even, that simple question, a simple question I couldn't even answer. But every time I would say something generic like that, TC, if anybody knows who TC is, they know how he is. And he was like, no, I'm asking you, what do you like to do? I'm like, I do like, taking care of my kids. What are you talking about? He was like, no, like a fun thing that you like, a hobby. What do you like to do like on your free time when you don't have the kids? And I'm like, or when you do have the kids, what do you like to do with the kids or, without the kids? And I was like, well, I like taking pictures. I like making people smile and happy, but I didn't go to school for that, so I didn't put that as my business plan because I didn't go to school for it. I'm telling y'all because I'm letting y'all know I'm not judging y'all. But once you know better, you do better. So he was like, well, that's where we're going to start. I need you, we're not using this business plan. I need you to do now I only have 1 more week left of the co-starter class. And I had to do a whole new business plan on photography, something I never went to school for, never, I did have a little practice on it, but it wasn't no big, nice camera or nothing. I had this cheap little, $70 camera that I started with. That was it. I didn't have no legit big camera at that time. So anyways, long story short, had to do my research because, TC want everything broken down, boom. So I did all of that, came up with the name. It was C Photo Studio. I think that's what it originally started as, C Photo Studio. Back in 2015 is when I started my photography business. And that's the one that stuck. TC was like, this is great, excellent. This is the one that I did in 1 week. But it was so easy because I was so interested in, looking up everything about photography, because this was something that I love to do. I just didn't think that I was good enough to do it since I didn't go to school to prove it. So, anyways, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it the way ATC told me to do it. So, anyways, did that, did my business license, they make sure you do everything legit. Had my business account, started posting it on social media, built my Facebook, built my LinkedIn, and all of that. Back then, LinkedIn was popping back in 2015. Now, mind you, in 2015, I had a 2-year-old child and a 5-year-old. And I had recently became a single mom. Recent. After ending a 6-year relationship, had 2 kids, bam. So I'm like, everything was just new and different. And I was working at Talbot's at the time, and as a PRN, as needed. And I remember forcing myself to continue to work and make dirt, nothing. But I loved it because that showed me how to do catalogs and all of that stuff. I mean, all of this stuff, even working a job, it still provides, something that is towards your destiny. Like me working at Ross, me working at Talbot's Jewelry Television. I'm selling clothes and jewelry now. I was able to see how they operated in these things without having to go to school, whatever. So that happened. Started my photography business back in 2015. And 8 years later, I'm still doing photography. It's now See Portraits and Magazine because 2017, when he had me to start my ministry of See Destined to Be, and C is, I know it's like the C, it's spelled like the C, but it's Shanidra, Estefan, and Amaya. So the S is big because I'm the mother, and then Estefan is my first child, and then Amaya was my second. So that's how I came up with C. It wasn't like, oh, I do love the C, but that's not what it was to be. But anyways, clearly I was on the wrong path. That was not the path that God said was going to make me last. I was wasting time trying to force myself to work all these jobs. Every time I get a job, I had to get another job. It was just back to back to back. It was very whack. I wasn't spending time with my children. It was just like I was just forcing, thinking I was on this right path, that was going to make me last. But I was just going to be a thing of the past. But anyways, started my See Destined to Be in 2017. Realized there was no platform for I started with adults and then went to teens and now kids. And so I'm experienced with dealing with all of them. But when the class of 2017 graduated, there was no magazine that I could put them in. I started trying to contact magazine companies, and it was like, how long have they been in business? I'm like, oh, they're just starting fresh. I mean, this would be a great story for them, for you to put in the magazine or whatever. And it was like, oh, no, we generally put, successful businesses that have been in there for at least, been in business for at least 5 years. All this and that. I'm like, what kind of stuff is this just to put somebody in a magazine? So I was like, Lord, there's no platforms for up and coming businesses that, are just starting. I mean, dang, they need something, how are they going to have, but anyways, So Destin Magazine came, and that came out of the name of See Destined to Be, because it's people that are going towards their destiny. So, boom, I don't know why he had me talking about this stuff, but started See Destined to Be, and then Destin Magazine was birthed out of See Destined to Be. Thank you, Lord. He said this is because he wants you to explore more. He's showing that I had to go with the flow instead of the usual. Boom. You see how quick he answered that question? Thank you, Lord. So this is the flow that I had to go on. First, I started with photography, which I still do. Then as I was going with the flow in faith in God, that's when he gave me my ministry back in 2017, See Destin to Be. Then Destin Magazine came. Boom. Back in 2000, was that 2017 too? 2017 or 18, one of them. So came up with, I didn't come up with it. God gave me that. Never ever have I published besides the See Destin to Be book. I did publish that book, but I literally typed that book up as God was downloading. Like I didn't even know what it had in it at the time because he was downloading. I was just typing. Boom. So he basically wrote that guideline book because I didn't even really go through all the book in my life. But anyway, so did my first book literally with God downloading the whole book for me, and then he had me to do a magazine, which I've never had experience. Didn't go to school to publish anything or nothing. So God had helped me through that, and started my magazine. Then as I went along with the flow of God, all of these are still in line with photography. These are other streams that he gave me, Shanidra. I'm not saying this for anyone to imitate because it still may not be the right way for you. I don't want you to be confused because I tried the same thing too. I tried to do what my family did too. I was like, oh, they worked, they went to school, they worked and took care of their kids. And, even though, they wasn't home as much, like, because they had to work. I thought that was the way to go. So, but I'm telling y'all, I got in trouble and God was saying that that's not his way. That's not the right way that he has. It don't even make you last. So, boom, went down, started my Destin Magazine to go with my ministry. So when people would graduate from my See Destin B classes, I would feature them in my magazine. Well, airport back in 2015. He said slow down. 2015, when I started with the $70 camera. It was $70 camera. When I posted my business on LinkedIn, let me tell you how God begins. When you start on the path that he's going to make you last. I posted it on LinkedIn. That was it. Just the name and what it was. The airport contacted me and wanted me to do photography. Scheduled a meeting, got that done, but I was straight up. I have not went to school for this. I brought my camera so they could see, I don't even have those type of cameras that you may want. I'm not getting on the airplane. I was basically trying to jeopardize my own dang on opportunity. But God, you can't even stop what God is doing. And they was like, that's fine. That's not what we're looking for. So I had to explore more and because God had more in store. When I had the meeting, it was like, we still want to use you. We want to use you for our events. Could you take pictures of our events? I was like, sure. Well, mine wasn't even the one that you charge up. You had to put batteries in. I told you it was the $70 one. So I had to keep, changing the batteries and all of this stuff. So the airport bought me my first Canon Camry. So God, everything just started panning out, like everything from the magazine. They even wanted, I told them that I was doing a magazine and all this stuff. They even started featuring their DBEs in my magazine. Like everything that God had me to do, He showed that He stamped and approved it. And that helped me get through it. Because, once I found out I could make my own money, real money, because at first I was like, oh, $50 special, just so I can get my practice in. It was like 10 people wanting a $50 special. I'm like, dang, here I am for 50,000 hours, and, I got to be here about 7 hours just to make $50. I got to waste my whole time being on trying to clock in for the dime, and all I did was posted $50 special, and it was like 8 people wanted the $50 special. I'm like, dang, boom, 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 boom. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to quit this tablets and really, start doing what God has me to do. Full blast. So I say the first year, work jobs, off and in jobs, as a PRN. And then the second year, it was just all faith. Just God was just, paying everything. That's when I knew how much to charge, because, big companies, they don't cry about, um, you know, money or whatever. They're just like, oh, just 150 per hour. Bam, that's it. Bam. I'm like, do I need to put 250? I wonder what I need to do, honey. If that's just too less for you, what do I need to do? So I, started getting real money for my business. They was writing a check out to my business. My business. It didn't even say Shanidra Matthews. It said my business. So I was like, okay, I can really, do this. So that encouraged me because God will send encouragement. Like all these doors just start opening. So it went from me just doing photography for their events to the magazine. People started sending me out at the big events that the airport had. It started opening more doors for me to take pictures for other events or whatever, for other big companies. It was just like an opening. And this is for someone, I openly say this because nothing can stop what God is doing. So, and I told everybody knows that, this is just a gift from God that can't be taught. When you have to be taught something, it's like you're forcing it to happen. I was not taught these things. I was taught by God, but I wasn't taught, he just taught me what was naturally in me. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is stuff that was already inside of Shanidra that Shanidra didn't explore yet. I didn't know I was going to know how to do a magazine. I didn't know about photography. I didn't know nothing about none of this stuff. I just went with the flow of God. I didn't know. But when I let go of that control and I got off that schedule, my life has really flowed. Like literally, he got me off of based on income. I've been on based on income. I've had assistance. All of that. But once I took this faith journey, I had to quit all the things that the world gave me. All of it. And my refrigerator may have looked a little bit more parched than it did back when I had, But then God started replenishing all of that. You know, the more I continued to do what He had me to do, I didn't try to force anything. I didn't try to imitate anybody. I didn't try to be like nobody but Shanidra. I've always been Shanidra, nobody else but myself. So I've never, you know, done that weird stuff. But we cannot imitate or try to force anything, because if we go with the flow, I'm telling y'all what y'all want to know. How did you, 8 years, you had kids, you didn't have no other help, you didn't have a man or nothing? No, that's not even up for discussion. God said He supplies all our needs. I wasn't even supplying it. Once I acknowledged that fact, that Shanidra's not paying for anything really. I don't supply all my needs. God does. He's my provider. He provides shelter. I mean, I call on Him when my money looking funny, honey, when I have a job. So why not give it all to God and let Him decide? Now, do I ever know when I'm gonna get money? Nope. So how are you not stressed? Because He gives you peace that surpasses all understanding. Now, let me tell you when I was stressed. I was stressed when I had a job and I lost a job. I was stressed when, you know, I wasn't giving it to God, pretty much. When I was forcing this and forcing that and trying to work this and trying to work that. And, you know, I was limited. But when you in God, when I was not under their control and on their schedule, now I make my own schedule, but I'm being controlled. I'm on here at 10:57 a.m. in my own house. Come on now. I make my own schedule. Guess I consult with God because He supplies all my needs, all of it, abundantly and more. I don't just talk this stuff, I walk this stuff. Y'all see in my works. Like He said, look at my works. Look at my fruits. Can't nobody take credit. I can't take credit for nothing that's happening in my life. I don't even know. That's why I just point that up. Like, this guy. So how in the world? That doesn't happen. I know. But it happens for me, honey. That's the favor of God. When you decide to ride with God and you decide to do it His way. He said that He will bless you, and all these things will be added unto you. All of them. Not some of them. You are the one that's blocking you. Because you refuse to do what God has you to do. You trying to do and look like, fake like something that you're not like. You're forcing stuff to look like something for what? You working all day, every day, stressing yourself out? That's not what God is all about. I'm with my kids all day, every day. I'm living like His child. I'm waking up, letting Him feed me too. You know, just He gonna put gas in there. God, He gonna work it out. Now, faith without works. I do the works, as y'all can see. Literally. I wasn't gonna be on no videos. I like being behind the camera. But I'm doing this stuff. Do you get paid to do your videos? By God, I do, yeah. And do. But no, not by man. I'm part of God's plan. I don't have to be paid by man. If you don't understand, I'm not talking about literal men. I'm talking about I don't have to be paid nickels and pennies. I decide how much they're gonna pay me. Because I ride with God. So you do so much. How do you do? I can do all things in Christ. Because He gives me the strength to do all these things. There's no possible way Shanidra could do none of this stuff Not even some of this stuff. I'll be tired in my flesh. But see, God already went through all of this. I mean, he went beyond Shanidra because 40 days and 40 nights not eating. Beyond Shanidra. But I'm not going to even say that because I don't want to be tested to have to do nothing like that. So, but I'm just giving y'all a general example of what God, he already been there, done that. He know your body can get weak. He know you can be tempted to do other stuff. He know that's when the devil gonna come and tempt you. Oh, you ain't making no money right now. What you gonna do? Still gonna listen to God too? Yeah, indeed, and will. I'm gonna do all the works. If he tell me that that's not part of his plan, I'm not doing it. Period. There's nothing that no. I'm going to stay on the schedule of God. He said consistency is key. So I have to consistently be and do the things that God has me to do. Period. Now, I have to say that jobs are beside God. He don't, I'm not saying that, oh, quit your job and don't do that, because I mean, God may use the job, but what he's saying is don't put the job before God. That's all he's saying. You can use the job like they use you. If I ever got a job, it will be to benefit what God has for me to do, part of my destiny. It will be benefiting my business, not their business. It's going to be benefiting mine. When I want to quit, I'll quit. Period. That's how they treat you. Oh, why was she? Ooh, having a job is not, what I see as an accomplishment. Having my business is an accomplishment because it takes real work, hard work. When you building stuff from the dirt, when you starting with the foundation of it, when you got to build the whole thing up yourself with just you and God, because that beyond the cover that everybody wanted to discover, all those 13 rooms, God provided for that. I don't give no credit because it was nobody else. He had me to go literally in all those rooms, and he panned every room out and provided for it. It wasn't Shanidra, I didn't know how, nothing. But he told me what was going to be in each room, and he provided for each room. All those 13 rooms. And he provided the food because I didn't know about the nutrition, food meals, or nothing like that. Didn't get a grant last year. None of that was happening. It was just God providing. Every time my account got parched, he put some more. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, dang. All I had to do was keep giving out to these kids, which was what he had me to do. This is not something that he had to force me to do. It's nothing I love to do. I love loving on kids. I love loving on people. I love making people happy. But I'm not a people pleaser. So there's a difference. I'm a God pleaser, but I'm not a people pleaser. I'm not striving to please you or anything if you haven't noticed on my videos. Really can care less of how you want to stress and not be blessed in some mess. I don't argue with fools. I don't do that stuff. So we need to stop forcing ourselves to be something else other than what we are. I walk this out. You can look at my fruits. You can't show proof of nothing else. And I'm not telling people to just quit their job. Just use the job like they use you. Use it to build yours. Because that whole year, I was buying my photography equipment. stuff I needed for my business to do what God had me to do. That's what I used the jobs to do. And then once I got everything that I needed that had exceeded, I had to stop it. I wasn't going to keep forcing to be with a job that's going to let me go. I'm going to be in control of that. I want to be free to do whatever God has me to do. That's what I want to do. Whatever my father, he said, acknowledge him. And he didn't say them, him. I'm not trying to be, you are under control. Well, this is the weirdest stuff ever. You can't talk to me during the day. You can't talk to me anyway. Unless they say. But you saying I'm controlled. Get out of this nonsense. We're gonna have some common sense. We're not gonna be imitating people. We're not gonna be hating people. Because God said, you can have this too. Won't I do this? Didn't he tell Cain that? Won't I do this for you too? If you too be obedient? If you too do what I tell you to do? These things can be added to you too. If you get the clue and be obedient to me. Literally, in your actions. We're not going to keep talking like and faking like and acting like. I told you it's not a look. Look what has happened now. People trying to force themselves to be a woman, trying to force themselves to be a man. You're not. Have you forgot? You're not. You got to force yourself to walk like a woman and talk like, I don't have to force myself to be what I am. By the I am. Stop trying to force it. You're not a woman. You're not a man. If God didn't literally make you a woman or a man, that's what you're not. And I'm not going to say anything other than I'm not insulting my father for you to be confused. You're not confusing me. I'm not going to act delusional like I don't see what it is. That's weird. I love you enough to tell you the truth. Boom. You know the truth. So we're not going to look over the truth. That's what it is. Why when I speak truth, you don't understand me? Ain't my problem. But what I'm not going to do is insult my father. Period. If I insult a person because they want to be in their feelings and they don't want to start dealing and healing, that's not my problem. I love you, but I'm the same way with my kids, and I love them with all my heart. They know that, sweetheart. Can't nothing tear that apart. But I'm harder on them than anybody else. And I talk to them straight up. Real. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing or nothing. It's not even up for discussion. You are what God says you are. Period. God don't make any mistakes. Period. And I take them straight to the word. Period. Break it down just like I break it down with y'all. I'm not going to call you anything other than what my father made you. Period. That's insulting my father, and I'm not doing that. I love him so much. He loves you, and like I said, as Shanidra, that is naturally attracted to men, I had to still do it the way God has planned. Because a sin is a sin. So I had to begin, and God loved me enough to allow me to change, and I'm thankful. Thank you that I did not die when I could have died. I told y'all, this is serious business. Y'all could think I'm playing all you want. That has nothing to do with me. Literally. I was in that mess, shacking and lacking. I'm not lacking nothing no more. And I'm not dying for nobody, period. So I'm going to do it right in Christ. I'm not going to insult my father. I'm not going to keep hurting. He's hurt enough. This hurts me to know that he loves y'all so much and y'all keep trying to deliberately force yourself to be something that you're not. That hurts my father. It's just like when our kids go the wrong way, that hurts us to the core. We're like, why? All I've tried to do is just bless you and be good to you, and then you gonna go this way? Why? You know, why you gotta believe a lie? Why you can't give it to God? Why you wanna keep putting on this fake facade and hide behind a mask that's not gonna let you last? You're gonna be a thing of the past. And God gonna put it on blast. You're gonna be into an open exposure. That's in the Bible. That's in the Bible. That's in the Word. If you haven't heard, you need to look at it yourself. Quit repeating what everybody else said. We're not kids. We're grown adults. We need to start acting. We're not gonna repeat like parrots. We're not doing this weird stuff. I should not be discussing this with adults. I deal with children. That's good. I love it. And I don't mind going down like this with children. But this is ridiculous because we know better. We want to be so hard on kids. Oh, they need to be doing better. What example do they have? Like I tell the kids, you can't be the leader that you are asking to be. You can't. I don't do the way of the school. Well, my teacher at school let me be a leader, but what are you leading them to? What are they following you to do? Because you're not doing what you're told to do, so you're going to lead them to not do what they're told to do, to not follow the rules? No, that's not a leader. What are you leading them to? So we're not going to look over facts. I'm not going to tickle your fancy or whatever. I'm not doing that weird stuff. I'm not going to be delusional because y'all want to be delusional. I'm not doing that. I'm not foolish. I'm not going to be foolish. I'm not doing this. Period. And this has been Shanidra all day, every day since day one, honey. This is the real Shanidra. That's why I said God allows you to be you. And I'm not about to be confused. If you're a man, I'm going to call you a man. You're a girl, I'm going to call you a girl. Period. Woman, woman. Period. I'm not saying nothing else. I'm not insulting my father. I'm not. I love him. He loves y'all. Period. But he loved me enough to change me. But I'm still the same me. I'm still me. I'm still Shanidra all day. And that's okay with Yahweh because that's the way he made me. That's how he made me. So we're not doing this foolish nonsense. We're gonna have some common sense. We can't keep pointing at the kids. Now we're pointing at kids now. Like, what example are we showing them? We're acting delusional. That didn't happen to you. Oh no, look over that. No, I gotta look perfect. You cannot act up right now. You act up, I'm acting up. I'm not about to act fake and act like, I'm not gonna get on my child at this moment. No. Do you want me to get on you right here? I'll tell them right then and there. I don't care who looking, and I'll say that too. I don't care nerd demon looking. Honey, I'm the mama up in here. Ain't nobody controlling this, honey. They can act funny all they want, but mom's gonna get under some control. They ain't gonna be controlling me, honey. They can do that. But we cannot continue to, I'm not condoning wrong. He said, woe to those who say good is evil and evil is good. I'm not misunderstood. I get it. So what God said is good is good. What he says is evil, period. I'm not going to say, oh, well, the world says it's good, so it must be good. No. It may look good, but it ain't good. You're going to have to go up under that hood so it can be understood that it ain't good. I had to learn the hard way with the cars. I told you I didn't get far in a car because it looked good. It looked right. We're not forcing things anymore. You're not going to force yourself to be something that you're not. You're not going to force yourself to be a woman. You're not going to force yourself to be a man. You're not going to force yourself to be with a man if you're a man. You're not going to force yourself to be with a woman if you're a woman. We're not doing this weird stuff. We're not. If you forgot, I am for my father all day. So this is the most loving way I can tell you. It's the way I give it to my own kids. And I love them with all of my heart. Sweetheart, but I love them enough to not let them continue on the wrong path. And that's the same thing that God is doing. He don't want you to continue on this wrong path. You're not happy. That's why you're trying to change yourself and be something that you're not. And this is not just the plot for trans, this is for everybody. When you imitating somebody that you hating on, that you're jealous of, you're not being yourself because you're unhappy with yourself. So you try to be somebody else because you're unhappy with yourself. So you're going to have to look at yourself in the mirror and acknowledge who's in the mirror. That's why I don't take medicine. I want to know what's wrong with me. Where is it hurting? On my right side, left side? I don't want nothing dumbing nothing down. I want it to be found. I want to see where it's, happening there. So we got to get this stuff under control. We're not forcing anything else. If you don't know how to do it, you don't know how to do it. If God ain't put you through it, then don't do it. Period. Don't force it. Stop trying to force yourself to know how, try how, be how, something that you're not. We're forcing all this stuff and, oh, I'm so stressed out. Oh, let me be fake. Now we keep putting on these masks because we're trying to last at the job. We're trying to last over here. We're putting on a mask in this relationship, masking like we're happy and we're not. We're masking ourselves, acting like we're a friend and we're not. This is weird. We're not doing this weird stuff. We're not as adults. Now, I can teach all day long, but we got to come on now. Can't be the only one. Lead by example. Lead by example. I'm going to tell you what you don't want to hear. I'm not one of those needing to cheer. I want you to hear what I have to say. So if you're going to listen to me, you're going to hear what you need to hear. Not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. Because I'm not on here for looks and lights. To look like, I want to look like I'm somebody. I am somebody in God. I'm a child of the Most High. Like, there's nothing you can give me literally on this earth. Period. I already know who I am. By the I am. So let me get that under control. You need to know who you are in God. You are his prized possession. He took his time with you and you want to be confused and try to change what he has mastered too? He mastered you. I mean, he took his time to make you different and then you trying to imitate and be something that you're not? And act like you forgot what God has told you to do? Now you looking confused because you've been abused and misused, so you don't know what to do. But God told you what you need to do. I'm casting all my credit. That's why I go through way more than I've ever went through when I was doing the things of the world. But I got God. So that's above me. That's above me. But I do the works. And if there's nothing else that Shanita can do in her own, on my own, then it belongs to God. Boom. Boom. I've tried everything, Lord. You've seen me try everything. Here, this must be yours. Boom. There you go. Not about to stress about that. I did all I can do. That's all I can do. So why am I going to continue to start stressing over something that is all I can do? That's all I can do. Boom. He said, cast all of them, all my cares and burdens onto him. Boom. There you go. Oop, not one. So then I can keep my mind clear on the things that I can hear him and do what he has me to do. I'm not listening to you. I'm not listening to a fool. I'm doing what he has me to do. And I'm not going to hurt my Father to please you. And I know he loves you. And his love is not the warped, corrupt love that you have in your head. Same love I have for my children. I love my children enough to discipline them, to correct them. He said, train them up. He told me as a parent to train them up in the way that they should go. So I think that's all I had to let you guys know on today. We must pray and obey the Almighty. We must do it Yahweh. I'm literally doing it in my actions. I'm not telling y'all to quit jobs, so I don't want y'all to start lying about that. I'm just saying use that to build you to what God is having you to do. Don't be confused. When I started my business, when God gave me the vision for photography, I was already working, but I just started buying stuff towards what He had me to already do. I started buying my photography equipment. I started, getting more stuff for what we had discussed, me and God. So you can use the job to get what you need to do. But once you got everything that you need, then let it be. Stop it. We're not going to force anything else. We're going to continue to be ourselves and nobody else. We're not going to imitate. We're not going to try to hate and depreciate anybody else. He made me give you myself as an example so that you know that this is not a judgment. This is just me letting you know. Let go and let God. Let Him take control. So that's all I think I have to let you guys know on today. We must serve and pray and obey the Almighty. If He have me to get back on here, I will. But we're going to have to deal with our feels and get real. We're trying to, oh, she hurting me. She insulted me. You dealing in hurt. Everybody is not trying to hurt you. I tell my children, I'm telling you this because I don't want you getting out here and getting hurt. They don't like for me to tell them that they got dirt in their eyes. Mama. I'm like, do you want me to let you have a booger or dirt all crust all on your eyes and let somebody else, laugh at you or whatever and you thinking you funny, but they, or they start talking about you. I'm trying to tell you before you get out here looking crazy. Because I do love you. I don't want you hurt. I don't want them to be talking about you. I'm telling you to put deodorant on because you need to put deodorant on. It may seem like, oh, mama always getting on me, everything. Well, if that's the negative way you want to look at it, instead of you looking at it like, oh, at least my mama trying to make sure I smell good. Thank you, mama. It's the way you perceive things, the way you look at things. If you complain about everything, you have this negative outlook, nobody can talk to you about nothing, say nothing that you're doing wrong, that you're not doing wrong. Tell me I'm not doing wrong. Tell me I'm a woman. Tell me I'm a man. What? No. You out of control. That's what I'm gonna tell you. You out of control. I'm telling you right now, you out of control. So don't ask me. I'm not gonna hurt my father. I've hurt him enough. Shanidra has hurt him enough. I don't want to keep hurting God. He loves you. He just wants you to change and not stay the same. He wants you to look at yourself. That's why He renews your mind so you won't be negative all the time. You won't be this negative person anymore because He's going to renew that mind. You're not going to see yourself like you see yourself now. Because you're going to be found wearing your crown. Because you're going to be like, okay. People talked about me and all this stuff. If I let that stop me, that motivates me. If you say Shanidra can't do it, I have to do it now. I have to do it. First, I was, thinking maybe I can't. I got to do it now. I got to prove you wrong. So that's my motivation. It's not people. Oh yeah, Shanidra, no, because people don't cheer on people that they know is going to do it. Now they cheer on people that they think ain't going to really be nothing. It's looking fake, but they hate and they're not going to appreciate what is real, honey. Care how you feel. They ain't gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, you can do it." They ain't gonna tell somebody that they know can do it. Trust me. I'm not one of these fake people that's gonna be like, "Yeah, they don't do stuff like that." They do and do. So Shanidra doesn't get, they can be like they can watch all my stuff, do everything, all this stuff. They would never like it. They don't have nothing to do with me. They'll like it, but they won't like it. They know you'll hear them saying my stuff, but they don't look at my stuff. They be imitating my stuff, but they don't look at my stuff. Like weird stuff. But we're not forcing nothing else. We're not gonna try to be something that we're not. None of this stuff. None of it. We're gonna be ourselves. We're gonna look at ourselves in the mirror and examine ourselves. We're not going to look at nobody else. You want to keep looking at it because you don't want to look at you. Look at you. I'm looking at me, honey. I literally look at my whole face every day and beyond my face. I look at Shanidra. Not looking at anything else. I see exactly myself. I don't see myself as big. I don't see myself other than what I am. I see myself as a skinny person. I see me, literally. And that's what you need to look. You need to take a look at yourself. Well, Shanidra, you don't have all these imperfections that's what God created you to be. And that was to help other people. That wasn't just about you. If he made you have a blemish, that was for you to embrace what he has made you have. I mean, my nose could be different, but it fits me. I've, there's stuff that, but if I don't look at myself and examine myself, I'm never going to try to be nothing else, but you have to start looking at yourself, the person in the mirror, and dealing with this person whom you're looking at. I have my children look in the mirror. Now, since they act like, oh, mama always trying to say something about my face or saying something on my face, I'll just be like, they're like, mama, how I look? I'm like, go look at yourself. What? Is there something? Go look. Oh, I seen that. Yeah. I'm not even going to just look in the mirror. You can see for yourself. You ain't gotta say that somebody else said this or what. You can look at yourself. And you'll clearly be able to see. You ain't gotta hear it through me. But we're gonna stop forcing this. Stop trying to force it. Like I'm trying to force myself to stop this video, but I gotta go with the flow of God. So I'm gonna try it again and say, that's all I have to let you guys know on today. We must pray and obey the Almighty. We must do it, Yahweh. Stop hurting my father. I'm not going to insult my father. And I don't want to be left in the dumb mind all the time. Because he'll leave you in that reprobated mind. If you want to be blind, he'll leave you in that reprobated mind. And I don't want to be retarded. So I'm going to continue to do his will, to say what is right in Christ. I'm not going to condone what is wrong. And I'm moving on. I love everybody. Everybody knows that. I don't have to say that. People that have to keep saying the same, I love you, and that's fake stuff. I don't do that fake stuff. I show you in my actions. I don't just talk about what I do. People tell me what I do. I don't come up to people telling them what I do. That's why I was confused at what God was having me to do on today, because I normally don't talk about what I do. People tell me what I do because they see my actions. They see the works. I don't have to try to look. You're forcing stuff when you have to work 50 million jobs. I work 5 jobs and I got this big house and blah, blah, blah. God bless me. You gotta work 5 jobs and keep that up. You don't even get to enjoy it. Everything that God gives me, I literally get to enjoy it. I'm not away from it. I get to enjoy it. It's 90 degrees at 11:30. What in the world? It said very hot weather already. Sorry, that just popped up on my thing. 90 degrees at 11:30. It's just gonna get hotter today. It was 100 degrees yesterday. But anyways, sorry, that just popped up on my screen. So stop forcing it. Stop forcing that relationship, that toxic relationship. You're not happy. You're faking it till you make it. Stop it. I'm not settling for nothing. I settled enough. I'm not settling no more. That's what I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna be with somebody that look like in the show that God already showed me I can have any man I want. Literally. That's not something that's ever been hard for me to do. I've been able to be with whoever I really wanted to be with. Because I don't take it like something's wrong with me. I just say that that's not the fit for me. Literally. That's not who God has for me. And that's okay with me. But I'm not settling. I'm not about that. All this time, and I have peace of mind. See, that's something that I'm not willing to just give up. This peace that surpasses all understanding, this peace, honey, can't nobody compete with peace. Peace of mind all the time, honey. So I don't care about people acting like. So this is like the 4th time, but when you're going with the flow of God, you don't stop until He tells you to stop, because He may have you to say something else that somebody needs on today. But we have to stop forcing stuff. Stop imitating. Stop putting up wearing this mask. It's going to be a thing of the past. We're not going to keep lying. We're not going to keep trying to point at people and say, "Oh, you're wrong for telling the truth." That's what's wrong with the world today, and they don't want to hear the truth. You want to hear the truth. I have to hear the truth. God don't sugarcoat stuff with me, and He loves me, and that's the only love I've really experienced. All the bad stuff I've done, and He still loves me, and He still wanting to use me. Come on, man. He just wants you to be family, so He can put that crown on you. He can still use you. He can. There's been so many trends that God has touched, and they have changed, and they're like, I don't even want to go back to the same. I'm not blaming nobody. They're actually happy, and He's still using them. See, the devil is just confusing them, but God wants to use them to convert others, to discover there's no other God. So stop hiding behind this fake facade. Stop trying to imitate and hate and be something that you're not, and you're depreciating yourself trying to be somebody else. Period. I just said this in my last video Tuesday. And I've noticed a lot of people have heard it, But, God is in control. We need to start going with the flow of God. Quit trying to hide. We watched that video on this video. Jot down some things that you want to do. Why are you doing what you do? Is it displeasing you? Because what God has you to do isn't just about you. None of the things that I do is about me. I would literally not be on this video if it was about me. But He's given me a heart to care about everybody out there. And I'm not just thinking about myself or what I want to do right now. Because I could be, I'm not doing that. Honey, I ain't got time to be doing no video. Honey, I need to do this. I need to do that. Okay. You think I don't have stuff to do? But I know if I do what God had me to do first, everything else is going to fall into place. All of it. So let me get what God want me to do. Then I can do all these other things too. Fifth time, honey. That's all I have to say on today. We must pray and obey the Almighty. Do it, Yahweh. He said, why do you call me Lord, Lord, and you don't do what I say? We must do what he say, literally. We can't do it if we're not in his word. The word was God, the word is God, and the word became flesh. Trying to bless you. Can't say that you believe in God and you don't believe in the Son of God, which is God. So, boom. Dead in that confusion. Told you to look in Leviticus, told you all, I gave you all these scriptures. We're not discussing nothing that I've already discussed. If you didn't hear me the first time, you ain't gonna hear me this time. Period. I'm not wasting time. That's what the video was about, wasting time. I'm not gonna waste my time with people that want to be blind. I ain't got time. Boom. So, have a great day.